They call me Liberty enlightening the world. But to most, I'm just Lady Liberty. I was born in the dreams of revolutionaries, built in the fires of change, and raised by the hands of hope. For over 130 years, I've stood on this island, watching the tides of history crash upon these shores. Let me tell you what I've seen. I was imagined in France, in the mind of Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, a sculptor inspired by freedom itself. He dreamed of me as a symbol, a torch lighting the way to liberty across the ocean. I was forged in copper, hammered piece by craftsmen whose names are long forgotten, yet whose dreams still live in my curves and folds. In Paris, people gathered to see my head before my body was even ready, but I wasn't just a French dream. America had to build my pedestal. Funds were short. Some said I would never stand. But then, Americans gave pennies, nickels, dimes, ordinary people who believed in something bigger than themselves. Finally, in 1886, I crossed the Atlantic in crates, waiting to become whole again on Liberty Island. When I first stood tall, I turned toward the sea, not to watch ships, but to greet the souls aboard them. From 1892 to 1954, over 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island under my gaze. I saw faces worn by fear and hope, children clutching dolls, mothers wiping tears, fathers gripping papers that might change everything. They gave this nation new voices, new flavors, new dreams, and in turn, they gave me meaning beyond copper and steel. I have known dark days too. During the First World War, my torch was dimmed at night to keep enemy ships from finding the harbor. Then came the Great Depression. Lines of the hungry stretched across the city. Even I, a statue, felt the weight of despair. When the Second World War erupted, I watched young soldiers depart, many waving back at me for what would be the last time. And yes, I stood here on September 11th, 2001. Smoke rose across the harbor. I felt the trembling of a city in pain. In my earliest days, only men could vote, and Black Americans lived under brutal segregation. I've watched suffragettes march, demand, and finally win the right to vote in 1920. I've seen the civil rights movement rise. Rosa Parks, Dr. King, brave children integrating schools. From where I stand, I've seen gay rights parades shimmer through the streets, women break glass ceilings, immigrants from every continent add new chapters. Few notice my broken chains at my feet. They mean liberation from tyranny, but liberty is a journey, not a destination. I am what each generation needs me to be. That is both my burden and my power. From there, I've seen the skyline stretch ever upward. The Empire State Building, the Twin Towers, now One World Trade. In storms, I sway gently, reminding the city that even steel and stone can bend, but not break. Liberty is never finished. It is a work in progress, built not by monuments, but by millions of ordinary acts of courage, kindness, and hope. But as long as people dare to look up at me and see not just metal, but meaning, then I remain.